share some thoughts with you about how we're going to move forward in Humboldt County in the upcoming years. But I would like to welcome some people who'd like to say a few words, and then I'll say maybe a few more words. So thank you, everybody, for being here. It's just wonderful to see you, people who I've worked with for a long time on a lot of issues. It's very heartening. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Sheriff Billy Hansel, and he'll tell you why he thinks he likes working with me. I don't know.
That's a fact. Thank you, Estelle. It's a pleasure being here today. I'm here to make sure everyone realizes that I do endorse Estelle for second district supervisor. She's done a phenomenal job, outstanding job here for the county. We have partnered together on so many different public safety projects, Measure Z being one of them. One of the things that's been huge for our county. And I just want to thank Estelle for her leadership there and her vision. And she's a person that really is able to connect with people. It's a big district here, and she's able to connect people from Fortuna all the way down south to the Mendocino County line, and to be the voice of the people. So many times I get a phone call from Estelle and asking about a question or something that's happening, and so I'm able to be responsive to her and the community because of the close relationship she has. And so I really appreciate her and her leadership. You know, one of the things that we also partnered on are abandoned vehicles. Is something that she's really championed to try and get more money for abandoned vehicles and the abatement of abandoned vehicles out there. And I think you see a big difference now in this district about the issues with abandoned vehicles out there. And so I really appreciate Estelle and how pro public safety she is, both police and fire. And so I proudly endorse her, and I thank you for your leadership, and I'm looking forward to this next 4 years. Okay.
Thank you, Billy. It's an honor to have your support. I really appreciate it. And an honor to have Mayor Sue Long.
So here we are again for the third time, and it is an honor to endorse Estelle again. We have had our disagreements over things, and we've agreed to disagree. And I think that a lot of other political parties could take note of that and realize that even though you disagree on some items, you can still continue to work together and continue to be responsible to your communities. And I just appreciate Estelle's knowledge and her practicality. We sit on boards together, and just her keeping things on track and being the voice of reason is really nice to see, and we need those people in our supervisor positions. And so I'm just really glad that she is running again, and even when we disagree, we continue to work together to make our cities and our county a better place to be. And so I'm just really proud that we can actually do that, and then we continue to talk to each other and continue to try to work through things that are difficult and hard for cities and counties to come to agreements to. So Estelle, I'm glad you're running again, and I'm glad that you are going to represent Fortuna and be here for all of us. So thanks.
Yeah, you know, leadership is not easy. Sometimes you have to make very difficult decisions, and I really appreciate all of the work that Fortuna has been doing to help me get my job done, and thank you so much, Sue, for your support. Now we go to one of my big-time heroes here, Lon Winburn.
Thank you, Estelle. So I'm really proud and appreciate the opportunity to be here today and support Estelle. You know, she's a huge proponent of the fire service, fire, EMS, law enforcement, the whole thing. She's always there by our side every step of the way. I can't speak for all the fire chiefs in the county, but have a pretty close relationship with most of them through the County Fire Chiefs Association. And I think that they would all agree that we have just the utmost respect for Estelle and her capabilities. But even more important than that, for the support of the fire service and EMS and law, I think is just Estelle's ability to hit it head on. You know, if there's a problem to be solved, she's going to find a solution, and she's going to work well with others. She says that she's a great team player. I can attest to that. She's an excellent team player, and that means a lot for the second district. So I really look forward to the next coming term working with you. The experience that she has gained, the knowledge of our district and our county and our state is impressive. And so I think we're going to see a lot come forward through that experience and knowledge. So I'm looking forward to it. So let's go get it.
Yeah, I mean, that is the other thing too, is like making those connections and working together across all sorts of different issues. It is so important to be able to do that. And I can say nothing but good for all of the emergency responders here in Humboldt County. Yesterday we had what was kind of a weird day. You know, we were thrown into a man-made emergency, and I knew that we would all work together. No matter what our job was, no matter what our position was, no matter where we were, we would work together and we would face the emergency and make sure that Humboldt County residents were taken care of. And that is always why I support these guys so much. Finally, I got another guy here who's I've known for a very long time, is a great supporter and kind of funny too. And Dave Nicholson. Another one of my heroes.
Thanks, Estelle. I've known this lady a long time. Had the honor to endorse her 4 years ago on her first run for the board, and I'm proud to endorse her again. Also, I am board chairman of the Fortuna Fire Protection District. And as our chief said, I've worked closely with Estelle on some budget issues for the district, funding, and she's a big supporter. She's helped us. She's gone out of her way to, I think, help the fire service in Humboldt County. And I'm pleased to see a couple more of my board colleagues here today too. So Estelle, it looks like you have the endorsement of the board too, but we'll give you that a little bit later. But again, I'm so happy you're running, and we look forward to working with you for another 4 years.
Thank you so much, Dave. And this is a guy who's gone through hell and high water to be standing here today. And that's kind of how we are, you know. We're rural people. We do what it takes, and we smile when the sun is shining, don't we? Okay, very cool. Thank you so much. So I also want to acknowledge that we have a lot of support on our campaign from throughout the district, from the Fortuna City Council, the Rio Dell City Council, and again, that all emphasizes just teamwork. I wrote a few notes just to be sure that I'd hit some of the highlights of why it is I am running for re-election. What is it? What am I doing? Go ahead.
I don't know. No. Did you want me to say something?
Okay.
I think you're good. Maybe you want me to hold your notes?
No, I don't know what she wants. No, I'm just following orders here, guys. I don't know. So again, I want to thank the people that I work with every day from being here today. I see a lot of you. I also want to thank the veterans. They have been wonderful to work with, and they're going right now through an ADA compliance fixing job, repair here at this beautiful hall. And I would say to my veteran friends, we finally found a good use for these flower beds. And there was a little bit of an issue about the flower beds, but the reason they're there is it's all part of the ADA accessibility thing. Very quickly, I'm not going to take your time, you're all on your lunch hour, but I do want to say a few things. So, you know, we all know that Humboldt County is going through a very significant transition, and we continue to face significant challenges. But with all of those challenges, we have opportunities. And I've been working to ensure that we will continue with a vision towards a brighter future that our kids can not only enjoy now, but can remember as that wonderful past childhood that we kind of look at. So I want to let you know that what we're in right now is the middle of a vision for making Humboldt County sustainable, have a great economic diversity, make it a good place to work, a good place for our kids to grow up in, and a good place for our kids to settle down. Strong leadership and stability are the essential components of a great supervisor's work. There are, again, many challenges, but all of it has to do with teamwork, and that's where I think it's really important. I think it's a kind of a cliche to say that we are drowning in red tape and that government moves slowly, but I think what I would like to pose to you is that actually Humboldt County is moving forward really strongly. We got in here to the Board of Supervisors. There's one of my colleagues right there, Rick Spohn. And we got in there and we said we really need to turn things around a little bit in Humboldt County. And we do have an opportunity to make sure that this county doesn't just stay static. Because without a certain amount of growth, you die. And I think, honestly, if you look at what we're doing right now, we have a economic development director, we have a new director of aviation, and all of those guys are doing a tremendous amount of work to make sure that Humboldt County is well situated in our world and in the greater world. We have numerous flights now out of Arcata. It's becoming an actual airport, but all of our other airports are being taken care of as well. We have a number of large projects being proposed here in Humboldt County that we have to go through. We have 2 wind power projects, one down here and one offshore. We have the aqua farm that's also in the works. We have a lot of people from outside looking at Humboldt County and saying, maybe Humboldt County is a good place to do business. And part of becoming that kind of good place to do business is also having a safe and secure county. So that's why we have, with your help, the voters' help, Measure Z, we have those tax funds that can fund the Sheriff's Department, the DA, fire, that can fund a drug enforcement unit in Fortuna, that can fund a school resource officer for the Eel River Valley. We've got a lot of work that we've already put in, and we will continue to do that. So, So I cannot stress enough that is what this is about. I'm running for re-election because I feel like we're right in the middle of accomplishing that vision. We laid the groundwork, we have the personnel in there, we got a lot of things going, and so I think that if we can continue on with this, we'll be in a really good position. We're working right now. I'm on the Potter Valley project team that's looking at a potential for using that project in another way. PG&E is going bankrupt, and they've also said they won't relicense it. So we now have an opportunity to get some of our Eel River water back in our river, and that's something that we're working on. It is an honor and a privilege to be a part of that. It is a very big task because we're looking at a regional approach. Congressman Huffman has said that he's set up an ad hoc committee, but we also have a group made up of the Sonoma County Water Agency, the Inland Water and Power Commission, Lake County, Humboldt County, Caltrout, and Round Valley Indian Tribe and other tribes as well becoming involved in this. So when you take on something that big, you really have to have teamwork and you have to have dedication. And so I'm extremely proud to be part of that. Another role that I play, there goes the fire people. Another role that I play in that particular project is that I am the chair of the Eel Russian River Commission, and that task really has become one of daylighting and transparency. So any of those meetings that you go to, you learn all about what's going on, and I'm really happy to be involved with that. We also have another one of our challenges coming up. It is the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act. Now that was put in place a few years ago, and Humboldt County had only one river that came to the fore as a medium priority, and that was the Eel River. We had a bunch of stakeholders meeting. We determined with the data on hand and the data that we gathered through that process that we could qualify as an alternative. That is, that we didn't really need to be classified as a priority. And worked really, really hard on that. Took it back to the Division of Water Resources, and those guys did not agree with us. So now we're going to have to go to phase 2 and look at the potential formation of a groundwater sustainability agency, which could be either a joint powers authority between the county and the cities, or it could just be something that the county does. But basically, here again, we're working to protect the Eel Valley, to make sure that we can go forward into the future. I'm not going to take any more of your time, you guys. I can get a little bit wonky about all the work we're doing. I know it's no secret that another part of our economy that's coming up, and sorry, Sue, is the cannabis industry. I want to say that, you know, I didn't expect that we would be dealing with this when I first ran for office, but here we are. And I think that we have done a remarkable job in Humboldt County of figuring out how to handle that. And I applaud all of those people who have come forward to become legitimate business people. I think that the county has taken a strong stand in support of the legal industry. And that means we also have to take a strong stand against people who do not follow that path. So you're going to hear a little bit of complaining now and again, both from people who concerned about cannabis in their neighborhood and people who are concerned because they can't just grow without a permit anymore. But that's what leadership is about. We have the vision. I applaud the people who are involved. The county has given a lot of support and will continue to do so in a kind of a strange way, because we brought in a lot of personnel into the planning department to deal with that. We now have an extremely robust planning department, so any issue that you have with the planning department is going to be dealt with in a really timely way. And I'm making that promise to you. I think that Director Ford would say that too. We've really kind of greased the wheels there a little bit. And on that note, part of dealing with homelessness issues, we will be getting more funds for that. And so we're going to be looking at things like streamlining permitting, etc., for people who need affordable housing, try and get that worked, and also find some solutions for the homeless in our neighborhoods, and try and make it that we don't have to deal with people who are mentally ill and drug addicted hanging out on our doorsteps. We're trying to find every way we can to handle that. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said, you know, those are big city problems. We see them in San Francisco and LA and San Diego, and sometimes we say those are problems that everybody has. But this is a small county. This is a small city. So being being the case, I think we have a better chance at dealing with this if we have the funding and the leadership. So that's the direction we are going in. And as I mentioned earlier, we had the ADA, and I know there was something else I was going to talk to you about, but I've forgotten. Oh yeah, very, very quickly on the cannabis thing, we made a case to the state that created a $10 million fund for counties that have, or entities, cities that have been negatively affected by the criminalization of marijuana. And we felt very strongly that we qualified, without a doubt. But we had a hard time making that sale. And actually the state pulled back, and we got a second chance to go in for what's known as an equity program and an equity grant. So we could get, if we qualified, $100,000, but we asked for $1.6 million. And we just heard yesterday we're getting $1.4 million. So that's pretty good. And that goes to address the negative impact. So I think we're going to see just more and more help on what is our vision to turn this county into a wonderful, sustainable place to live. And I thank you all for being here today. I can't tell you guys enough about what it means to me in my heart to see you guys here. You're great. You're wonderful. You're great to work with, every single one of you, and I enjoy having your support. Now, if your name isn't on the endorsement list already, I invite you to come over here and do it and spread the word to everybody else. Thanks a lot, you guys.